On August 22, the 15th annual summit of the BRICS, a group comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, takes place in Johannesburg. For the first time, one of the bloc's leaders will be absent. As host, South Africa's President, Cyril Ramaphosa, felt he had a responsibility to welcome his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. But as a signatory to the Rome Statute, the treaty that established the International Criminal Court, his duty was to detain Mr. Putin under the court's arrest warrant and send him to The Hague to stand trial for war crimes. Russia's leader has said he will stay away. But Mr. Ramaphosa's dilemma is part of a wider struggle between BRICS members over how to make the group geopolitically relevant. What unites the BRICS, and how much does the group matter? The group's members differ profoundly. Brazil, India and South Africa are democracies. Russia and China are not. Russia, China and India have nuclear weapons. Brazil and South Africa do not. Brazil and Russia export commodities. China imports them. China's economy is larger than the others combined. It has a long-running border dispute with India, which flared up in 2020, killing 24 soldiers. In 2015, Goldman closed its BRIC fund. 3 years later, The Economist asked, "Does anyone still care about the BRICS?" Its leaders certainly do. For Brazil, India and South Africa, the outfit is a way of getting privileged access to China. For Russia, the club is a defense against pariah status. China was well suited to a club of large, non-aligned developing countries, at least until Xi Jinping, its president, made its foreign policy more openly confrontational and anti-American. All five think a multipolar world, less dominated by America, is desirable. In 2009, the leaders held their first summit. In 2014, they set up a multilateral lending institution called the New Development Bank, NDB, based in Shanghai. Though modest, it had $25 billion in assets in 2022, less than a tenth of the World Bank's total. The NDB is part of an attempt to challenge the dollar's global dominance. It aims to provide 30% of its loans in the currencies of its borrowers. In 2020, the BRICS overtook the Group of Seven, G7, largest industrial countries in economic size when measured in purchasing power parities. All this has piqued the interest of other countries. According to South Africa's ambassador to the organization, dozens are applying or thinking about joining. An advisor to Iran's president calls membership of the BRICS the next step in his country's foreign policy. Argentina, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkey and Venezuela are also set to be in the queue. Bangladesh, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates have already joined the NDB, which is formally separate. If all these countries joined, the bigger BRICS would account for half the world's population. The BRICS founders are divided on the prospect of expansion. China and Russia want new members. The criteria and procedures for expansion were on the agenda of last year's summit. But for the same reasons, expansion is less palatable to Brazil and India. They do not want the club to be more China-centric, nor do they want it to become an overt rival to the West.